Hello, people. Yay. Everything's up and running. Good morning. Well, it's afternoon, late afternoon. Welcome to Karma on Deck. I'm Karma. This is your Gemini weekly tarot reading for the week of December 15th. And I didn't even type in Gemini. You just put Gemini. Nope, doesn't want to tell me Gemini. All right, so happy Wednesday. Alrighty, so let's get us started here. Hi, Vanessa, this is for you, darling. She's like, I don't want to know. All right, game on. If you guys can hear me, let me double check sound. You know, it's been like Mercury retrograde for me, so I'm like extra careful so I don't have duplication of effort. So pardon me. I just want to get this done for you guys. All right, here we go. Goals, guys. First one that comes up is the Sun card. Ace of Swords, big decisions. Sun card is completion. Sun card has to do with feeling as if you have, you know, all the things. I do see the Death card, intensity, feeling bound. You have the Ace of Swords, which is big decision making. We also have the Sun card, which is like putting, if you look at this, it has all the signs of the zodiac, the yin yang, which has to do with balance and making things, just putting the whole world together. And the world is a global look at placement and how you want things to be, right? I see the Ace of Swords that has to do with decision making. Now, the Swords is all about decision making and legal matters, right? Hi, Jesse. So, hi, Krista. So you have this card here that talks to us about decision making, and it definitely means new beginnings and doesn't necessarily bad or good. We're just going to keep going with this. We have the Ten of Swords, overcommitment. Okay, feeling boxed in, like you can't make a move, can't go left, can't go right. It just feels like status quo as you go. And it's just the kind of this, I call this card overcommitment, because when you have so many things on your plate and you can't move things around, it kind of feels like jail. This is also my jail card. If somebody asks me, you know, got this court date coming up, might get in trouble. Yes, you are. But this right here has to do with overcommitment too. Like when you've got the PTA and the kids things and the work things and the hubby things, and there's so many things and you just can't move. That's the time it starts to like scaling back and pulling things off the calendar and telling people no. Like my favorite, I love this coaching technique where I'll tell a client to say no to everything. Like you're required to say no to everything, to every coffee date, to let's go out for drinks after work, to everything. Like, and it's not about the saying no. It's about discovering why you say yes, how you feel about being asked things, and learning to practice with no being a complete sentence. Hey, want to go with us for drinks after work? No, thank you. Have fun though. Sometimes, you know, we say no, I'm too busy, or no, I didn't get paid. And they're like, it's all right, you know, you can do the other things later. And they try to negotiate with you, or they'll sit there and say, you know, that's okay, I'll buy you a drink or I'll get your coffee. And it's like, you know, you start to feel a little not manipulated, but you know, compelled to do these things. And next thing you know, you got so much shit you didn't want to do on your plate. So when you practice saying no to everybody, you really start to learn how you say no and whether you give, you know, excuses or whether you're able to just clearly say no, thank you. It's fun. You should try it. Anyways, the Chariot card indicates that there's a lot of intensity going on for you. The driver of this chariot has two horses going in forward direction, but opposite directions. 90% of the time, both of these little guys are facing opposite ways. And this guy is like, yo, we got things to do. And this is also another term that we talked about was Christian study, was being equally yoked. So if you're not equally yoked, this is what happens. You've got two beasts that don't know how to run together. And so it takes a lot of intensity to pull all these things together. We have the Death card for you that has to do with change. Think of it as a baptism. You don't always have to be scared of change, because the first thing I see when the Death card comes up is the look on people's faces, right? They go, and ultimately, the Death card isn't, I've only had it happen 2, maybe 3 times in my whole 25-year career of reading cards, was that where it came up and it didn't make sense and that actually referenced a passing, or unless you're asking about that question, it doesn't come up with death. So I do see that you're walking away from some situations that aren't serving you with this Queen of Swords. And that's your, like, it's a dead tree. It's like I keep trying to prune it and water it and pay attention to it, and it's not going anywhere. The High Priestess is in play. That has to do with secrets. And with this grand conjunction, the 21st coming up, the new moon and the solar eclipse, meteor showers, solar flares, the world is on fire. And so we have the high priestess. So secrets are being revealed, shadow work is coming up. Things we thought we dealt with come up in this little picture for us to look at and be like, have I dealt with it? So there's a lot of things that are coming up for us that we're leaving behind. The Hermit card for you, a little bit of isolation. You've got some things in play that tell you that there's a pause to be happening for you right now, indicated by the Hangman. And that has been a huge and favorite subject of mine in the last few weeks, where it's like, pay attention to the pauses, enjoy the pauses, utilize the pauses, and stop trying to microwave things into the next phase. There is value in the pauses. In wintertime, the roots grow deep and things go fallow and they rest. And we need to do some of that too in the pauses. And we need to stop forcing things. You can't pick an apple in December. It must go through its phases, right? So I'm seeing too, for Gemini, there's this strive to look for money. You've got a handful of major cards that are intense, okay? Ultimately, your goal is to bring your world back into alignment. You've got the Hangman, you've got the Hermit. You're feeling a little lonely and isolated and frustrated and misunderstood. We do have the Two of Wands, where Gemini, of course, has these two paths, these two different stories. You have the Two of Wands, which is like angel on one shoulder, devil on the other. This is not six of one, half dozen of the other, like the Two of Swords. This is two completely different stories where you find yourself in the middle. This is like gossip, where you have a parent and a child, mom, he won't let me, and then, you have to kind of get in the middle and negotiate and mediate. Or this is like two separate different kinds of energy where you're like, I don't know if I should quit my job or keep my job. They're two different paths. It's not between two jobs. So you have a lot of like conflicting information that's coming in, and you're finding yourself in the middle of it. And again, this all boils down to decisions. We have the Nine of Coins, which might mean some paperwork for you. And two cards in here tell me that you're looking for money. So right here, this is like, how do I get money? And then you have this intense thought right here where there's this maze on the bottom, and so this one right here, how do I get the money? It's above me. I don't have it. And over here, this is the money. Where am I going to put it when I do? So budgeting, money, focusing on finances is a big issue for you too. I think I covered all of that except for the Nine of Wands. The Nine of Wands in this reading has to do with you being like building your foundation and making sure things are solid before, any new issues or problems shake them up. Is that you, Jacqueline? Hello. All right. So here we go. I am going to do your Gemini moon for those of you that are Gemini moon. And for those of you that aren't, you can continue to listen. This is about your thoughts, how you're thinking, feeling, processing things. So book your one-on-one karmaondeck.com. Tonight's podcast, Practical Magic, at 9 p.m. Mountain Standard, 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific. We're going to be talking about house clearing and some of the basics in beginning, like where to begin. I know a lot of new people are awakening out there and they're like, where do I start? And we're going to be doing that series for a couple weeks. And I don't know when we're going to stop, if we're just going to switch it up and keep going. But there's a lot of super simple tips and tricks. And that's my goal. As a field training officer, as a paramedic, I was always about making things simple and taking the mystery out of it. Make it easy. All right, here we go, Gemini, the Tower card. So you're thinking about all the things that are falling apart. Now, be careful of that, because that can perpetuate that kind of feeling. You walk into a room and everybody's laughing, you laugh and you figure it out and you bubble up a little bit. Same thing with depression and sadness. You talk about it and try, I'm not saying it doesn't exist. Please don't misunderstand me deprecating on depression or sadness or trauma, because this Tower card is trauma. The Tower card is like that unexpected thing that's going on, and you've got that on your mind quite a bit. Is like these things, these dominoes that keep coming and knocking things over, and you're like, I can't set up one more thing because these things keep happening. I do see the Five of Swords indicates fighting. If you look at this chick won, but you is sitting here going, you won, but you didn't like the way that you did it. So there's a lot of things that are going on where you're like, if I could have done things differently a little bit too. You're feeling a little cheated. We do have the Four of Pentacles. Now, I'm the one that's not going to ignore the elephant in the room. For some of you, the Four of Pentacles indicates cheating. And that doesn't always have to be in a relationship cheating. It means feeling cheated, feeling as if someone did you dirty. It does, however, indicate that someone is being duplicit and that they're not having your best interest at heart. We have the Empress card and the Six of Cups next to the Four of Pentacles. So that tells me that something that has to do with family. Now, like I said, this doesn't, you're feeling cheated. And so for some of you, this is going on, and I would encourage you to investigate. The Knight of Cups, you're feeling very emotional and kind of undone and not quite sure how it is that you want to, move forward. You're just feeling entirely too exposed and vulnerable to be talking about what's going on. You have the Two of Pentacles again. So you had the Two of Wands in the general spread, and you have the Two of Pentacles in the moon reading. It's a congruency for you, and there really isn't very many. You're split. Your life and your thoughts are very different. The Two of Pentacles is this indecision where you have these two paths to take. Unlike the Three of Wands, the Two of Pentacles is two different ships. Again, two paths. So if it's next to the Four of Pentacles with a cheating card, that indicates there's a third party. Or there's two different paths to go. And now for some of you, that is you picking between two different people. So it isn't always the other party doing dirty. It's sometimes you guys saying like, I'm not sure what path I want to go on. And it doesn't mean you've done anything bad. It just means you're at this crossroads where you're not sure what you're doing in your relationship, or you're not sure what you're doing with certain items in your family dynamic, where it's like, I'm not getting my needs met. And if you're not getting your needs met, are you speaking to what you want? The Ten of Wands, unfortunately, is the end result card for this spread, and it talks about carrying the weight. So ultimately, you've got to just carry through this next little phase, and not seeing getting any worse, thank God. But I do see the Queen of Cups, which tells us that you're going to come from that place of, emotional IQ, EQ, right? So you've got your also High Priestess. I lied. You've got the High Priestess and you have the Empress. So the High Priestess, again, is that secrets, knowledge, intuition. So trust your intuition, and you feel like not even sure if you should trust your intuition because the shoe is about to drop. Again, you feel like, but what's true is this grand conjunction, the solar eclipse, like I was saying, all that crazy stuff is causing these deep energies to come and stir things up. And what does muddy water do? It's cloudy, and so we're confused. So muddy water is best cleared when we leave it alone. That doesn't mean not try to fix things, but sometimes, when it falls, you got to let it fall. And then see where it's at, let things naturally do what they got to do. But your instincts, though, your High Priestess is telling you something else is coming. But that's because we have this unrest, general unrest throughout, like, the peoples right now with everyone. So it's heavy out there, guys. We got to do our utmost best. Use every skill set we got. Like today, I went out and got a gym membership because my body's been so sore processing all this stuff. I've been atrophied, and I went out and got a gym membership. And no, it ain't about the new year. It's about this shoulder I can barely lift above my elbow. And so I went right over to the gym, which is next door, like on the corner. And I decided that I was going to commit to this, and I got support, because what is going to help me most is not the complaining I've been doing about the pain, but doing something about it. So I can't really say much until I've done the most, right? So if I'm waking up in pain, I'm actually crying out in pain at night when I move my arm and don't know it. So if I'm not doing my utmost, how can I go then to a doctor and say, I've tried this and this and this and this, but I haven't. So let's just see where we go with it, right? And I got an accountability partner. So that's what looking for support looks like. I called my friends and I was like, who wants to do this with me? Because now I can't hide it or blow it off or come up with an excuse if somebody's going to be waiting for me. So get some support. Like, one of the things that I do every day is I put my makeup on, even if I'm not going anywhere. Like, I can't feel like a lump every day for a year because COVID's out there somewhere. And so, yeah, I said the C word, erase it. I don't want to give that any more power than it already has in conversation, but we got to do the most for ourselves. And if you're not doing it, no one is going to do it for you. Sorry. Mastery. So we got the card for you, Gemini, which is mastery. So you've got to start practicing with some of these things I was talking about, whether it's learning to say no, or whether it's, doing some new techniques to get you back on track, like getting into the gym. Like, pick something, pick anything and begin, because it comes down to mastery. And the truth be told, you've got more skills than you think you do. It just has to come from intention. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me. I have a client at 2:30, so I will come back after I'm done with her, and I will do Cancer. So for those of you that are Cancer, Sam Bronson, a couple other people have been emailing me. I will have your videos ready for you. Thank you guys. Like, subscribe, and share. I want you on my YouTube. If you can get to my YouTube and support me there, I would love you for it. Thank you so much. Catch you on the flip side.